Interesting word. Who is sold? Okay. We sold Bro Robert for 10 ringgit. Okay, it's very cheap. Like nasi lemak. Servants of the Lord. Okay, so those are the different community. We have a term which is called. You want to talk? Womb to Tomb Ministry, because we cover from different ages. Okay. Have a different version. Okay, never mind. It's okay. Okay, my version is I just added this. It's a Singles for Christ logo. You can Google it. You can see it anyway. So I just gave them the real logo so that they have a distinction. To be honest with you, after Couples for Christ, or aside from Couples for Christ, the other ministry that's closest to my heart is the KFC, okay, Kids for Christ. For one, that's where our only child belongs to in the community. He's a member of Senior Kids for Christ. Secondly, we were privileged to have been given the task of handling the community for a few years, and we grow also. We learned something from that community. Ministry. Maybe because of my personality, I like being with kids also. So, and then that's why that's the community, the ministry that we are asked to handle during that time. Okay, so that's Kids for Christ. Okay, Keep Up Life program. It addressed the threats to family and life, and strong advocacy in defending and promoting life. So, if you read between the lines, or if you're gonna look at the overall picture, okay, you know what is being referred to here. Okay, there's some challenges, okay, that's going on. Most of the topics here was highlighted in talk number 6 in the Christian family. The challenges for our family. Okay. Okay, now we go to the building the church of the poor. What was the mission earlier? Building the church of the home, which is just focusing on the 5 ministries. Okay? Church of the home is the ministries, meaning the objective, if you notice the objective of CFC is it's not enough that you go to church or you attend the Sunday service every Sunday, service every Sunday. Because you just go to church and then that's it. So now they want to continue the spiritual growth and evangelization even at the comforts of your home or within your community. Okay, building the church of the poor. This is UNCOP, answering to the cry of the poor. Okay, so this is a group that was formed by CFC so that it can do community service. Okay. Through building the church of the poor, CFC lives out the social teaching of the church through CFC UNCOP and the CFC social development programs. Okay. Okay, it's made up of 5 pillars. Provide shelter. As you can see, the picture earlier is build a home for the less fortunate. Provide health support. Education, those are doing a scholarship for the less privileged but deserving children or kids so that they can continue their studies, especially in the Philippines and in some third world countries. Okay, and then cornerstone is tutorial and values formation in the public schools. I'll be honest with you, the ANCOP is not yet in effect here in Malaysia, okay? But in other parts of the world, we have some CFC members that migrated to other countries like Australia. We kept in touch with them, and they belong to a CFC Australia community also, and they're doing their ANCOP there. Even though there's no program like that here in Malaysia yet, or in West Malaysia to be particular, some of the members here, especially the fellow Filipinos, are somewhat connected to the community also in the Philippines. So whenever they go back or they keep in touch, they still contribute or give their share on this community. Okay, but I'm just giving you a highlight or idea what else CFC does, not just evangelizing, but also is the other side of it. Okay, community service. Okay, to be more detailed, as mentioned earlier, the mass was intended for the migrants. So we also address social development programs for migrants, for the environment, like either planting trees or saving the environment by reducing plastics, okay? Something like that. Cooperatives, good governance, prison, men and women in uniform, the militaries or the police force or the military. Okay? Okay, still with me? Yes! Thank you. Okay, statement of philosophy. Okay, I will read you the statement of philosophy, but it will all boil down to one thing again, which is, as I said, about our role in, what do you call this, strengthening the family. So, Focus for Christ adheres to a set of beliefs and ideals from which flows its Christian values, attitudes, and behavior, as well as its teachings. Programs and approaches to Christian renewal within the context of family relationship. Next. Okay. Next one. Okay. How you pronounce it? Like, I believe. Yeah. Like the really honest. I believe. Okay. We believe. Okay. We believe in marriage as an indissoluble institution as taught by our Lord Jesus Christ, Matthew 9:6, and that God created marriage primarily for love between man and woman and for the procreation and proper rearing of children. Okay, so as I said, this is emphasized also in talk number 6, Christian family. Okay. Okay, we believe that God created man and wife with equal personal worth and dignity, and that God ordained order in the family, giving the man the role as a head of the family, and the woman as his helpmate and support, which roles best express their complementarity. Okay? We believe in the inalienable, and irreplaceable right and responsibility of parents to educate their children, and that children need to be educated in essential human and Christian values for them to become responsible and mature members of society. Okay, so that's why even if with some restrictions in this country, with limited resources, we find ways to educate our children, not just on academics, but also on values. Okay? And to Kids for Christ and Youth for Christ also, the kids there are given the opportunity to grow their faith also. Growing their faith. Okay, we believe that family, in practicing the gospel message, shares in the life and mission of church through prayers, evangelization, and service to others, especially to the poor. Okay, sorry, 2 more slides for the philosophy. We believe that that Christian family renewal can best be achieved by inviting Jesus to be to the Lord of our homes, by allowing the power of the Holy Spirit to lead our family lives, and through the full use of all spiritual gifts at our disposal. Sorry for my voice. At concert last night. Okay, that's why we always say the key here is to put God or Jesus Christ at the center of our relationship. Okay, last one. We believe in the maternal mediation and intercession of our Blessed Mother Mary in bringing us all closer to her Son Jesus. Devotion to Mary leads us to devotion to Jesus that will lead to our sanctification. Okay, later on in your discussion group, you'll have a short quiz. So it will be discussed further by your discussion group leader. Okay? So much for the blue slides. Let's go to the yellow slide again. What's the importance of the CFC mission? I mentioned earlier, it's building the Church of the Whole and Church of the Poor. Okay. Because we recognize the family as the basic unit of society, as a God's plan. Okay? CFC has been raised by God to defend His work. Okay? So that's why okay, as we all know, there are many forces in the world that seeks to destroy the family. Okay, so there's divorce, there's the controversial same-sex marriage, and then the other outside forces, like the influence to the youth and so on. Okay, social media, and so on. Next. Okay, this is unique to CFC. We call it the CFC Covenant Card. Next week, you will have your own copy of this. Or if not next week, soon you'll have it. Once you commit to being in the community. Because, to be honest, attending the Christian Life program doesn't mean that we are forcing you to be a Focus for Christ member, because we are just helping you grow in faith or have your own spiritual journey. It's still a choice if you feel that you want to belong to a community and you are aligned with the mission and the vision, right? Okay, so the covenant card is like this. Okay, it contains the 5 items that you're supposed to commit. And this will be discussed in details next talk. Okay, commitment to grow in holiness as Christian couples and to encourage and support one another in living spirit-filled Christian life. Okay, next slide. Okay, just like last week, you have 5 spokes of the wheel, right? On what you need to have your spiritual growth, growing in the spirit. There's also 5-point commitment. Some of them are already in the wheel. Why? Because in the wheel it says about prayer, and then reading scriptures, doing community work, and so on. Okay, and so on. So it talks about allocating time for you to pray and talk to Him every day or as much as you can. This is not a strict rule 15. You can go longer, you can pray the whole day, up to you. Okay? Read scriptures through the social media, of course, sometimes to our busy schedules. We sometimes also get the chance to read it somewhere else. Social media is like it's a double-bladed sword. Okay, it can work against you, can go favor you. So there's also some apps, or someone will post a Bible verse, okay, or share a gospel during the day, and you can read it at your comforts of your mobile phone. Okay. In fact, just to share with you, because sometimes the Bible will may, you may not have the chance to read the actual Bible. Aside from the daily devotion prayer, when I was driving, because when we were not staying near the office during that time, Cyberjaya, I have to drive around 30 minutes, which is 25 kilometers. But for Fast and Furious driver like Bro Allen, he can take it with 15 minutes. Because I'm a third-time driver, so I'm a slow driver. Okay, because I'm an amateur driver, so I take it slow. So sometimes, since I'm alone, I turn on the Bluetooth and then I listen to the gospel, okay, the Bible app, and then there's a daily devotion there. So while I do long drive, I listen to that one. Aside from someone reading the Bible verse for me, which is the phone or the app itself, right? Because I'm driving, I cannot be disturbed, right? I cannot read, right? So you can take those opportunities as much as you can. Okay, participate regularly in the worship life of our church. Okay, talk for repentance and faith, avoid sin and wrongdoing, and put good order into your private life. Okay, if you were willing to dedicate yourself to the task of building a strong family to Christ, you will seek regular weekly dialogue with your spouse or with your children, exercise duties as parents, pray with your family daily, and celebrate the Lord's Day together. Next week, you will experience the concept of the Lord's Day. Okay? Invest generous amount of time for home and family. Just like Bro PJ, when he talked about loving neighbor, he said some reservations on, he's worthy of doing it, because sometimes it's a challenge to really embrace everyone and say love your neighbor because of some differences in culture and in the behavior, right? Okay. Lately, I'm guilty of this one because I told you, my work recently does not permit me anymore to free my weekend every now and then, because there's most of the weekend works are what the customers want because there's no work for them. Okay. Bro Allen can relate to it. He works in a bank, so sometimes he spends overnight also on the weekend. So invest generous amounts of time for home and family. It's being taken away from me sometimes, or most of the time recently, because I have to do extra work. Whether I like it or not. It's part of my work. It's not that I'm asking for it, but it's part of my job. So, okay, so that's why for especially in my group, in my discussion group, I ask for apologies, okay, for not being able to be here every week due to that. Naiiyak ako. Because my wife is looking at me in a sharp eye. That's correct. We sleep with Scooby. Scooby's our dog. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, it's part of the family. Just one of the picture. We have a pet dog that we adopted last year. So we consider him as part of the family. His name is a very unique name from the original owner, Scooby. Okay, it's a Pekingese dog. Okay, bring other couples to Christ. Meaning like this, Christian Life program. So how did we join? We were invited by other members of Focus for Christ also. Because I was not aware of the community during that time. So it's like that also. If you commit to being a member of Focus for Christ, you have the opportunity also to invite other friends or family members to do the same. Okay, make time to serve Focus for Christ. Whenever I'm called to serve, follow directions of those who have responsibility for my service. So like right now, all the members are supporting here. Sacrifice their time, the service team. Even the participants only sacrifice their time to attend here and listen. Okay? So, me too. So, whenever we call like that, if there's an event, we will attend. Okay? We offer our time, treasure, and talents. So earlier, the music ministry, they don't just offer their time, they offer their talents. And later on, they'll give you their treasures. Okay, attend small group meetings. Faithfully participate in the activities of the group. Later on, you'll have an idea what those activities are. Okay, you need to accept other couples whom the Lord adds to your number. The same Bro Allen just mentioned, we joined this household last time. So he has no choice, he has to accept me. Okay. Embrace me. Yeah. Oh, this guy is also bald and big tummy, so I'll accept him. Yeah. Earlier I had a funny moment. She's my goddaughter. She called me, Tita Ryan, excuse me, I'll get water. Tita Ryan. Because of the same head and same tongue. Ryan Reynolds. Okay. That's really good now. Okay, now, interesting part. I hope I still have time. Okay, this is an interesting part. How do we support one another? To be honest, you're just starting. After your Christian Life program, it does not end there. It's like graduation. It's called commencement exercise, right? Because it's the beginning of another journey. Then you will have the household. That's the best part of CFC. That's actually